First things first, my peoples come first. My people, those that are here, those that are no longer here, always thought of and remembered. I'm Vator Games with the Vator Games TV, and this is my live match reaction to Fulham hosting Manchester City. Oh, thank goodness we got the 3 points. Thank goodness we got the 3 points. I need some water. Oh my goodness. All right. Do the damn thing. Hit the like button. I see you all in the comments. Let me shout out the love. Let me shout out the love. The who's in the chat from the very beginning. I'm sure hit that like button. I'm sure subscribe. Got that notification. Was in the chat early. Sam in the building. Big up, Vader. Is there gonna be an emergency meeting? Listen. Sam, there's going to be a gathering. There's going to be an assessment. But an emergency, we're not at Sam, emergency settings. We've seen emergency settings. Emergency settings is for the clubs out there that have loss after loss after loss, that haven't been able to score. If we're going to have an emergency meeting, it's with regards to how do we deal with our defense. It's going to be how do we deal with our defense. But we got the 3. We're 2 points. Take a second. Hold on. We're 2 points. Is that? Let me pull up the standings. Chat, let me know if I'm wrong. Let me pull this up because I you know what? I don't check the standings like that. We are 2 points off the incredible, the best in England, the best in Europe, the best in the world. We're 2 points off, as bad as we are. Oh my gosh. Now, everybody in the chat, let me get to you, Sam. Good looking out. We're going to discuss it. Is it an emergency meeting? I don't know. There was a second half crumble. There was a second half of, listen, when we say second half crumble, we also scored more goals in the second half, right? We took it to 5. And the defense, we need to talk about that. I think our midfield is a huge problem. We need Nico G clones in there. We're gonna discuss that, Sam. Trust me. Clutch in the building. Heart attacks. Listen, that was FIFA. That game was FIFA. EAFC. I was like, the script is in. How are we comfortably 5-1 and now they're making a comeback? That felt like FIFA. Let me get my controller here. That felt like I was playing. I was like, what? I'm dominating. Why is this kid making a comeback? He's trash. He is trash. I'm killing him. The script. It was mad. It was mad. I was stressed. But that's football. That's the Prem. Oh my gosh. We're gonna discuss everything. All right. We're gonna discuss everything. I see you all in the chat. Listen, Abdallah in the building. He goes, garbage performance. It was inconsistent. Let's not do garbage performance. It was inconsistent. How we dealt after being 5-1 up was garbage. We're going to discuss it. We're not going to hold any punches, but we're going to be real with this. Let's be balanced. All right. We can't ignore how we scored those 5. Right. Before this game, let's talk ball. Before this game, I think Fulham only surrendered. Correct me if I'm wrong. Fulham only surrendered 3 goals in their house. Like, let's geek out in the chat. Let's nerd out in the chat. Tell me if I'm wrong. Let me put a star here and I'll come back to the chat a little later because I know I'm a little bit behind. But correct me if I'm wrong. Fulham's defense was not letting teams score over there. They were not letting teams score. And then we show up. And match that in one game. Exceed that in one game. We're seeing two. I gotta be on point. You guys came here for a match reaction. Let me be on point. Starting 11, cool with. Let's everybody in the chat. Come on, I gotta shut things down. This is a shutdown point in the channel. This is a shutdown because my gal just showed up. This is a shutdown. Vader, let's look at the positives. I'm gonna start there. I'm gonna start with the positives. Let's look at the positives. 3 points is intended is needed. Holland's 100th goal, yeah, absolutely. Foden's brace, again, very nice to see. Reinders and Doku also on a score sheet, very nice to see. I'm with you, Rose. I'm with you. Obviously, listen, I'm a glass half full, but we're gonna have a full combo. We're gonna have a full combo. Have some water. Get comfortable. Listen, I had to shut things down. My gal was in the building. Ash, big up. I see you. Sam, listen, Vator goes, Vator, I think more than defense, we need to focus on midfield. They should have closed down on the absolutely. And we're gonna get into it because the goals we surrendered, especially just the defense making a play and then the loose ball, no one in contact to really clear it out properly. We gotta stay dialed in. We weren't dialed in. But we go to the 11, comfortable with the 11. I'm sure every one of us were like, okay, we're at the 11. But let me bring up the positive and the negative. We look at that 11, right? And for all of the fans that say, Pep, just play your best. Okay, we played our best. But here's a concern. We can't lean on this best the entire time because there's going to be fatigue. There's going to be moments within the game where they're going to bring on fresher bodies, and we're going to have to deal with it. Who can we trust to bring on and deal with that continued intensity, right? So I was really happy with 11. I was happy with how they performed. I didn't like how we surrendered that first goal, to be honest with you. Again, we got 2 games in a row where Holland, in this case, could have scored early again, right? That pass that was slipped in, Foden put it on, Holland unlucky hitting the post. I like how we're looking centrally. I like how we're looking for those opportunities. We could have scored even earlier than we did. Holland getting that goal, I know he was kind of pressing a little bit. 111 games, got his 100th goal. Amazing. Killing the records, right? And then we also have the performance that we're seeing from Foden. We're seeing the performance that also we can lean on and be confident with what we're seeing from Nico G. He's going to need help. And is he going to get that help because of what we're going to do in the January transfer window? Is he going to get that help because Rodri's going to be back in form to be able to alleviate some of that? I don't know. We'll have to see. But wowza. 5-1 again. Listen, 5-1. I'm not going to say that I was like, yo, easy work, easy money, nothing to worry about here. I was still a little nervy. I was nervy with regards to it because of the last game. And on top of that, you can see that Fulham weren't going to give up, rightfully so. No team, honestly, here's the thing. No team should give up when playing against City. No team should give up when playing against any club, to be honest with you. The closing out, putting in that effort, making life difficult for your opponent, you can get rewarded with that. And Fulham did that to us. We're going to see this again. We're going from this game versus Fulham to now play Sunderland. Right? Our next game up, let me make sure I'm correct here. 2 points off top, man. And we're so bad. And we're 2 points off top. Our next game on Saturday is versus Sunderland. That's not going to be easy. We can expect the same. We can expect, even if we look comfortable, even if we happen to be a goal or 2 goals up, they're going to play to the full 90. Right? So we need to be ready for that. You guys in the building, good looking out. Ash goes, what a football game. I agree. What a game. This is why we love the sport. I know as a fan you want, let's win that comfortably, let's move on. But this is why you love the sport. Absolutely love it. Now, when it comes down to dealing with the pressure that Fulham were putting on us, dealing with the chances that you're creating, Smith Rowe was having a really nice game. He was getting into some pockets. I don't know if he was making sure that he was keeping himself away from Bernardo, keeping himself away from Nico G, but he is finding himself in some pockets and making life difficult for us. I think we have to recognize that if we back off sometimes, there's certain players to do that too and certain players not to. Smith Rowe was having a little too much joy. One could argue he should have had 2 goals. That header was brilliant, amazing. Did not expect it. Didn't even see that happening, especially to close out the first half. But that goal was nice, and he should have had a second one. We're going to be real. I have to point out, we also left some goals on the pitch as well. This, for those of you that want to say that could have been a basketball game. Holland could have had a brace and more. Holland could have had a hat trick, right? He could have had a hat trick. Some of the passes, even late, when Fulham were going all out for it, some of the passes we could have slipped in that attacking 9 position. And let me rewind this back a little bit. If I'm going to say anything, let me find my rewind. Where's my rewind? If I were to rewind anything, I think that Pep might have also looked at, you know what? We've got a game on Saturday. Let me get a fresh outlet. Let me get a player out there that can be an outlet for me and maybe can also cause some difficulty for the center backs that Fulham had. And Marmoush, I'm surprised that Marmoush didn't get subbed on again. Even though it was late in the game, I think he would have caused problems. I think he would have caused concerns to be like, oh, they can't do as much as they want to try and get this equalizer, because Marmoush would have been available for us, especially when Shirky came on too, and Shirky was doing a little bit of dancing and popping in some of those passes. I think it would have been helpful. But what a freaking game. What a freaking game. Lee in the building. Attacking wise, I thought we were good. We were good. We were good. And Fulham's no joke. Fulham's no joke. I know that they're not in the top half, but they have been incredibly good not allowing goals in their house. Our build-up and press needs improvement, especially late in game. We were tired out there, and this is the concern, Sam. Who can we lean on? Who can we lean on? And let me say this real quick, and I'm gonna work my way back into the comments. I know I'm a little further advanced, but let me also say this when we want to talk about the press and improvements. I will always defend Bernardo Silva. I will always defend Bernardo Silva. Go back. I know it's fresh. We're not going to do that just yet. But this man was running till the 90-something minute. And he was showing the composure and the control that was needed when he did have possession, when we were kind of giving it away too freely. He was showing that he was ready to deal with how Fulham were still going after the ball. You know what? I noticed, which was pretty cool. After Holland scored the 100, he put the collar up. That was kind of fly. I can't lie. But I will always defend Bernardo Silva. The man was running to the very end. We need, and this is where we're talking about, the help. The help. We don't have those options on the bench right now. We really don't. Right? Nico comes off. Who are we putting on? We don't have Kova. We don't have Rodri. Bernardo or Foden come off. We have Shirky to bring on, but who else do we have? Are we putting Rico Lewis in that role? Right? We're in a tough place with regards to our depth, midfield wise, 100%. There's concerns there. If there's an emergency, you know what? My girl DC's in the building. Easy win, no stress. She is clowning out here. That is jokes. I wish I grew more of these. More of these grew in that game, DC. I am wow. But what I saw from Bernardo is the fight that we need to see from every player, and it is a real concern. When Sam was asking me, are there emergency meetings? There's going to be emergency meetings with regards to realizing that this squad still needs more. This squad needs more with regards to the bodies that we don't have available. No Rodri, no Kova is a problem. So I'm not going to go through every goal, but I will talk about the fourth. I will talk about I'll talk about the fourth. I'll talk about the third. Good looking out, Clutch. I see you in the building. The defending, right? The lack of closing out for those quote unquote balls that are just dropping at the top of the 18, just outside the 18. 3 of those goals today were almost, they weren't mirror goals, but they were shots that, hey, put it on target, pick a corner, put it on target. If it gets through the bodies, hope for the best. 3 of those goals against us was exactly that, right? And we see the importance. Look at the late winner that we got. Look at the late winner that Foden gave us versus Leeds. And oh my gosh, that seems like it was a long time ago. That was just the weekend. But you see, there's bodies in front. The keeper is going to have a difficult time to maybe tracking it, see where it's going. You put that ball on target, you have a chance. I'd like us to do a little more of that. Fulham took their chances and punished us for it. Now, when some are kind of complaining, we lost control, lost composure, we couldn't deal with the press of Fulham. Well, we were sloppy in possession. There was a little bit of panic settings. Some panic settings were out there. Rightfully so. We're playing away. We weren't as consistent as we wanted to be. We have to acknowledge, and this is where let me pull this up real quick. We have to acknowledge. Wow, they got highlights up already. We have to acknowledge and see who we had on the bench from a midfield standpoint. Okay? We know midfield's our engine. Midfield is why we were able to do the madness versus and keep clubs behind us, pimping them to 1 point, right? We always had the better midfield with regards to control, dictating play, taking the air out of the ball, right? Or suffocating teams. What we did was midfield related. And right now, let me say all the players on that bench, okay? On the bench, we had John Stones, Nathan Ake, Ryan Shirky, Savinho. Those 4 players got onto the pitch, right? The only player that would play in the midfield is Ryan Shirky. The remaining bench players, James Trafford, Omar Mamouche, Ryan Aitnori, right? We had Kosanov, and we had Rico Lewis. So if I'm looking at the players on the bench that could have helped us in the midfield, we had Rico Lewis, we had Shirky. And in this game, what did Pep do? Pep used John Stones as a DM, as a 6. This is where we need to go. This is how we fix it. The emergency meetings that Sam asked me early in the show, he was like, listen, emergency meetings is we need to go out and have a midfield focus. We need those options. Currently, we have no Phillips. He's not up to the task. We know that. Kova, injured, not ready. Rodri, not on the bench. That's where we need. That's our focus. If it's not clearly in our face, the biggest focus is in the midfield. Right wing, that's bonus. That's future planning. Let's get them now because that'll help us in the future. But if it is to stress anything this year for us to be like, yeah, you know what? Arsenal keep dropping points and making this a title race for us. If we're going to be serious about it, we need to be talking about who's the midfielder we're going to get. Who's the 1 or 2 midfielders that we're going to go out and get. I'll be honest with you. Let me catch up with these comments. Clutch goes, my heart rate has settled down now. Listen, Clutch, this was supposed to go, the match reaction was supposed to be at 4:30 my time. Sorry, 4:30 my time, so that means 9:30 your time, okay? Or if you're out in the UK. I had to push it back because of the extra time, right? 8 extra minutes. Are we in agreement that it should have been 8 extra minutes? I don't know, but it's 8 extra minutes. And then I had to, like you, I had to make sure I went out and got some water. And I had to compose my thoughts because I was, don't get me wrong, remember the question I posed a couple of shows ago? Are you happy? On CIA, I asked, are you happy with the win? I'm happy with this win. No question about it. I'm happy for this win. It's games like these that sometimes you just get the result. But what I want to list out, as much as I talked about some of the things that we saw negatively in the game, right? Where we need to improve. Defensively 100%, but Sam was also correct, and I agree. Midfield is where we need to fix up, right? We need to have a connection. The midfield need to be connected with the defense and the attack. There's that balance. It's the most demanding of our system. It's the most demanding. You got to be dialed in. You got to be fit. So that's where we need to fix up. Fox, I see you in the building. Good looking out. That's where we need to fix up. But we realize that we need to go into the market. We need to go into the market because we don't have the midfield bodies to choose from. Rico and Shirky will not be enough. All good players, but they're not enough. I think Rico Lewis is limited with regards to mostly playing on that right-hand side, right? If he's going to be in the midfield, but even more attacking than being a full box-to-box. He's not that. Shirky, again, more attacking. He can play all over the pitch, but more attacking. We need help We need help. We need help for Nico G. John Stones will not be enough of it. He's not going to be enough to do it. We need help for another box-to-box. Bernardo Silva, Reinders will not be enough. We need more. I think the club most hopefully recognize that and make the move for it. Let me catch up with these comments real quick. 3 points. On to the next. And that next game is going to be a battle. That next game's going to be a battle. Fox, big up Vator. City trying to give me a hard time. Listen, they're trying to do it to all of us. They're trying to do it to all of us. Way too much stress. I'm glad for the win. But geez. And I was messaging. I was like, what are we doing? Why are we making it so difficult? And then the nervy moments inside the 18-yard box, not clearing it, the miscommunication. We let a ball bounce, thinking that Donnarumma was going to kind of scoop it up, and we gave Fulham a chance. Like, what are we doing? But the fight I love. All right, it's going to be a balance of positive and negatives. Let me keep up with his comments. Facts. We need a bully in the midfield. We need two. We need someone that the ball is going to come to them. And it's going to be, I might as well not even get close to him. He's just going to shield me. He's going to play it off. We need one of those. We need one of those. Facts. Bully will clean up. Bully to clean up. Actually, a bully to kind of clean things up defensively. And then a bully with regards to possession. Like, you ain't getting the ball. You are not getting the ball. Trust me. Don't worry about this. Vader, I'm happy even though I was pacing the floor nervously. Listen, I think I wore out tracks on my floor. And for me, I have this pillow. Large up to my man Flawless. I see you in the building. I have a pillow that's one of those where it's like, I kind of squeeze on it, or I could sometimes punch the pillow. I'm like, throw the pillow down, like, what's going on? It's one of those, but all in all, it worked out. And we take this win and run. Vader looking sharp with the attire. Listen, I got to match what the club was wearing today. Guys look good. The team look good in that black kit. The black kit, it's clean. Good looking out, Flawless. I see you. Everyone big and Flawless up in the building. Flawless, let the people know in less than 2 hours over at Sarcasm City TV. It's going to be obviously a conversation with regards to City, conversation with regards to Manchester United. And then let's see what else we kind of sprinkle in with regards to the Prem talk. But you know what it is. Big up the chat every time. Hit that like button, people. I don't even have the studio up to see what my numbers are at, but I hope you guys are all showing love with regards to this. I'm so eager. I'm so eager to hear what Pep says. I can't wait to hear what the feedback is from the players post match, all that jazz. I need to see how the players react. There's fight. Despite how we conceded those goals, we still fought, and that's what we want. That's what we need. Let me stress this real quick. We can look on ourselves and say, oh, that was poor. But we also have to look and recognize what Fulham are, right? And this is not to over-exaggerate or big up Fulham more than what they are. No. But, like I said early in the chat, they were not surrendering goals in their house, right? They were not surrendering goals in their house. We were also told that we could only score with Haaland. This game, 4 different scores, because we had the. Is that right? Haaland, Foden, Doku, Reinders. Yeah, that's right. When it comes down to what we were able to achieve in this game, let's take that. Okay. Goal scoring doesn't seem to be a problem. Attacking, looking for chances doesn't seem to be a problem. Now, there's another thing we got to address. Midfield, like Sam mentioned, and I happen to agree. We got to have that connection between the midfield and how locked in they are when teams are running down and looking for their goal scoring opportunities. We seem to have that fixed well with what we want to do in an attack. Hey, another thing we got to adjust is when we're playing against mid to low blocks, how we're going to be creative. But defensively, the majority of this game defensively, I agree with Sam. It's heavily looked at with regards to the midfield. I can't really say O'Reilly. Nah, I don't like what you were doing today. He's looking tired though. He's looking tired at the end of that game. This is a problem that we got to recognize. We're going from Tuesday, now we're playing on Saturday. Who's going to be fresh ready to go? Sunderland's not going to be easy. And then on top of that, when I look at Diaz and I look at Gavardio, when I look at Nunez, I can't be overly critical with how they were defending for the most part. The defense is where we got to look and dial into. But listen, this press conference, my match reaction, I should say, I got to show up. I got to talk about what I saw within the game. And we were buzzing 5-1. Buzzing. The first goal we gave up, sloppy. Again, first goal, sloppy. Second goal, sloppy as well. But the second, third, and fourth goal, that's where we guys, the iPads, right? When you bring up the iPads and you want to do the stills and you want to be like, how could we have done this better? I think it's clear. I'm going to go and rewatch this game, emotion aside, maybe later on tonight, maybe tomorrow. But I'm going to watch this and be like, okay, how could we have prevented this? But listen, 2 points off top. 2 points off top. Let me try to catch up with these comments real quick. Where are we at? Trevor goes, what up, Vator? Trevor in the building. I see you. Good looking out, my guy. People hit the like button. You know what it is. Pep in the presser. I can't wait. I'll be honest with you. If time allowed me to, I'd be with you guys more often. I'd be like, oh, let's react to what Pep's doing in the press conference. And again, I like to react to what he says. I don't like the quotes. The quotes are too brief. You don't see the smirk. You don't see the tone. You don't hear the tone, right? I don't like the quotes. But Pep's presser is going to be nice. I need to catch that. Look at how a man smirked when he said, sprinkled it with some other stuff. I'm just saying, we're going to talk Manchester. And then we'll see. We'll see what else we get a chance to talk about. We'll see what the people want to hear. You know what I mean? We'll see. Still winning. Listen, still winning. This is a big win. Stop. Big win. It's big win. Both positive and negatives in the game. We're not Holland FC, and we were never Holland FC. We let them run with that myth, that narrative as they wanted to, but we always knew. We always knew it was going to right itself. And again, you see what Sam, you saw what I've been doing. Oh, you want to run the negative? You want to run the narrative that we're Holland FC? Well, okay, we'll run the narrative that you're Set Piece FC. Now, when we say that, they said, no, we're not Set Piece FC. We're going to find other ways to score. And I said, yeah, well, we're not Holland FC. We're going to find other ways to score. It washes, right? You just can put the mirror up in front of their face, and they don't like their image. You put the mirror up in front of their face, they don't like what they see. They don't like it. They see the pimples. They see the... Nah, let me stop. Clutch in the building. At least we didn't rely on Holland. No, we were looking for him. He had his opportunities. He could have easily had a hat trick in that game. All nice. Now, what I do want to see, though, I'll be real. What I do want to see is when do we have Marmoush on in that 9 role? I think we need to see a little more of that. In a game like this, I wouldn't have been upset with seeing Marmoush tracking some things down, creating an outlet, being that, because he has a great burst of speed and he has a great top end speed. It would have been nice to see some of those outlet passes or some of the shifty movement that we're seeing from Shirky and just slip it in a pass for Marmoush. I think it would have created problems and maybe alleviated us of the pressure and getting a 6th, maybe even a 7th goal. The Doku one was given as an own goal. Yeah, I think unfortunately it was given as an own goal, but the movement, him actually, he took the target to place it. I don't know, I guess because it deflected off the defender, but are they saying that it deflected off the defender and it wasn't on target to begin with? Whatever. We know Doku's doing his thing. Clutch, crazy fact, Holland was caught offside today for the first time in 2 years. Yeah, that's crazy. He's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I thought Doku curved it well. Although I thought so too. He opened up the hips. He was ready to curl it. I guess because it hit the defender, it didn't count. 19 offsides. That's crazy. That gets undervalued. It's not spoken about enough. His awareness, him, and again from a striker standpoint, him being connected. We see many strikers who, after they take their shot or whatever, or it's a clearance, they're walking back, they're not keeping track. He always makes himself available. Now, I'm gonna say this before I shut down on the press conference. You guys have been amazing with regards to press conference, match reaction. Good looking out. Brian in the building, you know what it is. Vator, this side is weak, physically and mentally. Well, we got to prove it. We got to prove that we're stronger than this, mentally and physically. Until we do, we should be doubted. Until we do, teams should continue to do what they've been doing in terms of attacking us late. I agree with you on that one. I spoke about it earlier. Holland's record has been incredible. But this is what I'm going to say before I walk off like Pep does, like this match reaction. You guys have been amazing. I want to be really cognizant because I can talk. Y'all know I can talk, and I want to be on point and concise. And again, the other things that you want to hear from me, you'll hear at another time. That's hopefully why you guys continue to tune in. Know that I'm going to do my best to always provide some entertainment in my point of view, the real. But let me say this real quick, and I'm being real with you. I'm obviously North American, okay? Surprise, I'm North American. I'm Canadian specific, based out in Toronto, okay? With that being said, I recently came across a really good interview of an NBA player, all right, Gilbert Arenas. He happened to be speaking about how he was raising his son with who he hopes for him to develop into a basketball player. Okay, but this analogy works because it's sport related. Just hear me out, please. Hear me out. I think what he said in this interview, real quick, was with regards to shooting. He's like, listen, I want you to be comfortable, and I want you to be okay with missing. I want you to understand that the attitude that you have after a miss is just as important as many other things with regards to the game. And for me, I heard it, but a light bulb went off because it's now something that I'm kind of recognizing and I'm now attributing to football. I get it. Every player, and it's something you see it, you do it, it's just replicated. But every player, when they miss, or when it's saved, you get the, or you get the, or they're doing the big puff, or I can't believe it, like that. How much, and I'm curious what the sports psychology is when a shot is taken, saved, or missed, that it's like goldfish memory. I'm on to the next. Yeah, you're thinking about, okay, how could I have done that better? What am I going to do next in the situation? But you can see the negativity. You can see the, I really wonder if it's the attitude. And Gilbert was like, you're going to miss shots, but it's the attitude that you take, right? You're going to miss them, but you're taking the next one. You're going to be on it. I want to see when Holland misses, and I know Holland, he misses a penalty, it doesn't matter. He's like, I'm going to go score again. But I'm curious what the mentality is, especially when teammates are seeing you miss, and then you're like, nah, I got next. I got next. Don't worry about it. It's just something that I've been noticing. I'm going to think more about it so I can be a little more clear with that thought, but it's something I want to pose. Listen, in classic Manchester City DNA, we had to make that difficult. We had to. And we had to give. Here's the thing. I also got the show CIA Intelligent Agendas, right? We had to give hope. We had to give hope that we were dropping points. Especially after Arsenal having 11 men for an hour versus Chelsea, who had 10, were not able to win a game. Chelsea fumbled an opportunity, and I'm going to talk about this heavily on Sarcasm City TV, but on this show, hear me out. I'm being typical Vader. I am. But City were being typical City. So let me do this. The fact that Arsenal, 11 men versus 10, surrendered a goal to 10-man Chelsea was also something to raise flags, have alerts and warnings about. Not only that, they weren't able for an hour to show and dominate. Players that are supposed to be the players that are supposed to be him, weren't able to dominate a Chelsea with 10 men, right? Especially with a key player like Caicedo out. A lot of things came up in that game that are kind of get brushed aside. And had we dropped points, it would have been something to easily dismiss. We did not drop points. We got this win. We move on to the next. Like my gal said, we move on to the next. Big 3 points, big performance, large up each and every one of you. The attitude that we need to see moving forward is, listen, it's not great. We're supporting you, Blues. We're supporting you. We're not just fans, we're supporters. We're supporting you. Fix up and let's go on. Pressure's on. I'm Vader Games. This is Vader Games TV. Match reaction to Fulham hosting Manchester City. A 5-4 FIFA type game. FIFA scoring. Will catch me on the next show, which should be 115. I'm out of here. Love.